Hello and welcome to this World of Warships video. Today I want to try something new. It's a new series I was thinking about. It's called What's in a Name. It's basically a small lecture about history. My goal in this is to do the history behind the name that warships are given, which is not the ship itself. For example, the first episode here will go about Tirpitz. This will not go about the battleship Tirpitz itself, but about the person who the Tirpitz was named after. With this I will try to enrich my own knowledge because I am a history student myself in real life, and history always interests me, as I hope it interests you too. So yeah, I would also like to enrich your knowledge as well. Episode 1, Kriegsmarine Tirpitz, Tier 8 German battleship. Tirpitz was named after Alfred von Tirpitz. I'm very sorry if I pronounce Tirpitz wrong, but I'm not German. I think it's pronounced Tirpitz, although I'm not 100% sure. As you can see by this magnificent beard, is that it was not a recent admiral. Von Tirpitz was Großadmiral in the German Navy. Großadmiral is basically the highest rank in the Navy at the time. It's the same rank as Fleet Admiral or Admiral of the Navy in other navies. The army equivalent would be a Field Marshal. He was also a Secretary of State of the German Imperial Naval Office between 1897 and 1916. It's a very important branch of the German Navy. It was basically the most important administrative division. As you might know, Germany before 1871 didn't exist. It was all like small little nations and Prussia who didn't really have a big navy of their own. So what Tirpitz tried to do was to build a powerful German navy in his Tirpitz plan, which is the next point. The Tirpitz plan was a plan to establish Germany as a superpower through its navy. Of course, you have one big obstacle, which is the British Navy, but I will come to that in a bit. A world power always needs its navy, especially for trade. Almost all, I think, the 20 or 18 biggest economical superpowers in this world are not landlocked, which means they have access to coast. And back in the time, it was not really that much different. You really needed a merchant fleet to boost your economy. So that was basically Tirpitz's plan, is to build a very powerful navy. He did this through several fleet acts, basically laws that tried to enhance the German navy. The Tirpitz plan also started the naval arms race. It's basically a contest between the British Navy and Germany to put out the most amounts of warships. Also technological advances calculate into this, but it's a bit less important for this lecture. An interesting fact is that the naval arms race, thanks to the Tirpitz plan, also was one of the causes, or as I type here, one of the powder kegs that made World War I possible, because it drove Great Britain into the hands of the French, the Japanese and the Russians, because Germany was antagonizing Great Britain as its main enemy. Of course, the British reacted to this, which made certain laws possible that would not have been enacted if it was a more neutral policy. It's maybe for some of you maybe a bit weird that Japan is in here, but before the Second World War, Japan was a very important ally for Great Britain. The first warships that Japan the first Western warships that Japan actually got were made in Great Britain. Russia is also quite important, but the Russian king was I think it was a nephew of King George. Not 100% sure on that. The Tirpitz plan ended in complete failure though, because it counted on the German Navy being a fleet in being. A fleet in being is basically a fleet that exerts dominance by its presence. Tirpitz was counting on the British Empire to avoid direct conflict so they could keep their own naval dominance without risking losing it to the Germans. Another part of his Tirpitz plan was seeking confrontation in the German Bight. The German Bight is where I encircled it on this map. It's basically between well, not pretty sure of these I think this is Schleswig-Holstein, and this is Hamburg. Hamburg is somewhere around here. Oh, yeah. He basically wanted to draw in the British so they would blockade ports in this area, so he could confront them with the own German Navy, which was growing quite rapidly in power, so they could harm the British Navy, or in best case scenario just utterly sink it. The British, however, didn't really need to blockade the ports because they could just block the passes to Germany from further away. They could even go and set the blockades even further than this, but this was the most visual thing I could show to you. But yeah, this basically destroyed Tirpitz's plan. Tirpitz knew it was kind of risky, because he said if the British do this, then the role our navy will play in the war will be quite bad, and so it didn't really play that much of a role, really. But yeah, sadly the German navy didn't really got to do what they were built to do, which resulted in unlimited submarine war, which also was one of Tirpitz's ideas, which drew in the Americans and really did drive the nail into the coffin. After Tirpitz got removed from office and replaced with someone else, he founded the Fatherland Party. The Fatherland Party is a political party in Germany from 1916 onwards that was opposing a peace treaty with the Allies. Certain generals in the army were quite against peace. Adolf Hitler, who was still in the army as well, but not really that important at the time, also was a supporter of total victory, which means not signing a peace treaty. As we all know, the Germans did sign a peace treaty, and Hitler and other people like the Fatherland Party saw it as a stab in the back by the general populace. They even called for a coup d'etat. I'm not sure what the English word for this is. I think it's just a coup led by Hindenburg and Ludendorff. Hindenburg also being one of the ships represented in World of Warships. But I will do something about this later if this proves to be interesting to you. An interesting fact that they were even willing to oppose the Emperor Wilhelm II to get such a coup d'etat going, but in the end they didn't really manage to get to that point. Tirpitz then died on the 6th of March 1930 at the age of 80, which is quite a respectable age to be honest. He's buried in the Waldfriedhof in Munich. Friedhof just means cemetery, I think. Cemetery of the Woods, if I translate it correctly. But yeah, that's basically it for this lecture because I want to keep it quite short. I hope, as I did, that you learned something new during this video. If you're interested in me doing another ship, please tell me in the comments. I'll probably do some anyway, because it doesn't really take a long time for me to research something. I do want to end by saying that I did use Wikipedia for a lot of the facts that I used in this video. A lot of academics, including myself, don't think Wikipedia is really a good of a source for papers. So for if you want to do like really academic pieces of literature, Wikipedia is not a good source. But if you just want to do fact checks and read up on something, a lot of professors tell me that it's quite a good idea to go look up on Wikipedia what the general facts are about something, because Wikipedia does do fact checking as well. Not a lot of people know this, but they really do. I could tell an anecdote about this, but it would take me a little bit far. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you guys next time. Bye.